Okay, we're going to do a very quick review on what we did yesterday, and then we're going to do a top and a bottom, a double, a top and bottom, all right? So yesterday, we went over how to convert on the conversion journey, so we needed to find a starting and an ending place. And then we went from there and we found the conversions that would be relevant to our journey. And then we went from there and set up our starting spot, and we used our conversions to go to our ending spot. So in this case, our density was our conversion. So we set it up as 1.6 grams is equal to 1 milliliter. By doing that, we got both the top and the bottom of our conversion fraction, right? We started with our 5.58 grams to go to milliliters as our ending spot. Milliliters was our ending spot. Our units go down because remember the big question was what unit goes down? Whatever's on top goes to the bottom, right? So grams goes to the bottom. And then we look over here, 1.6 grams because the number must stay with the unit. So that means 1 milliliter goes to the top. By doing this, we can cancel the grams. That left us with milliliters, and then we just did our calculator work. So we ended up with milliliters, and I always circle so that I know, I'm reminded that I did make it to the end of my journey. Milliliters goes here, and then I did my calculator work, and I did my sig figs. 3 here, 2 here, so I ended up with 2 in my answer, 3.5. Okay? Next, we read this one, and it said how many inches are in 1 meter. So that means I'm going to start with 1 meter. My ending unit will be inches. My journey is going to end at inches. So then I went to my conversion sheet, and I found that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. And then I, the teacher, gave you 10 to the 2 centimeters is equal to 1 meter because we haven't done metrics yet. So I gave that to you. So I started with my 1 meter. I'm going to end with inches. Meter, so what unit goes down? Meters. Then I went over and I looked for my conversion that had meters in it. There's only one of them, meters to centimeters. So 1 meter goes down. That means that the other one, 10 to the 2 centimeters, has to go on top. Now, what unit goes down? Centimeters. So now I look, which conversion do I have that has centimeters in it? I have 2.54 centimeters to 1 inch. So I put my 2.54 centimeters because the number must stay with the unit. And then 1 inch goes up top. Now I cancel my units and look, I'm at my end of the journey. So I circled that. My inches are here, and then I run my math. Now with regard to sig figs here, with regard to the sig figs, all of these are definitions, all 3 of these. 100 centimeters is defined as 1 meter, and so therefore I don't use these for sig figs. 1 inch is the definition, like that's the precision, and then I measured the 2.54 up against it. Someone rounded off that 2.54 for me, so I know since it's rounded off that I have to respect that, and I have to use that 2.54 for my sig figs. And this 1 meter, we're not going to sig fig this because it's written in a word. So the 1. So it's very not sig figable. They're asking like how many inches are in that meter, right? So I run my calculation, and then I see that I have 3 sig figs, which gives me 3.94 times 10 to the 1. 39.4, good to go. All right, 3 sig figs. Okay. Are there any questions up to this point? All right, today we're going to do a numerator and a denominator, a top and bottom. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert 47.3 miles per hour to kilometers per minute. My end place is kilometers per minute, and my starting place is 47.3 miles per hour. Now, if there's a per in it, that means fraction bar. So that means 47.3 miles, fraction bar, hour. And I'm going to kilometers per fraction bar minute. So that's what I want to know, and that's my journey. My journey is how many kilometers per minute am I going to come up against, right? That's what we want to know. So let's see what conversions would be helpful here. Let's look at your conversion sheet and come up with some conversions that might be helpful. Anybody come up with anything? Let me know. What conversions might be helpful? Yes, Z. 0.621 miles equals 1 kilometer. Great. So 0.621 miles equals 1 kilometer. We also have one that's a little bit more familiar. 1 mile is equal to 1.62 kilometers. So is that my conversion sheet? You got that off of? Oh, that's weird. All right. So generally, this is the one we use. They're both fine. Either one is fine, but this is generally the one we use. Okay, next. Anybody else? We need to go, so that'll get us from miles to kilometer. What other conversion can we use? Really? Nobody else sees another conversion that you got to use? Yeah, so what is the conversion for hours to minutes? Thank you. 1 hour equals 60 minutes. Excellent. Now, this is a definition. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So somebody defined that. So we are not going to use those for sig figs, right? Because that's a definition. They're precise. And 1 mile is equal to 1.62 kilometers. We're not going to use the 1 mile either. So that means our answer is going to have 3 sig figs in it. That's the only place where somebody measured and rounded off for us. Nobody measured 60 minutes and said that's, 1 hour. They defined that, all right? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start at my starting point. 47.3 miles per hour. What unit goes down? Miles. Now I go over here and I look at my conversions. Here is my miles, and here is my kilometers. So I'm going to say 1 mile is equal to 1.62 kilometers. When I do this, I can cancel my miles, top and bottom, right? It's terrible, isn't it? Here we go. All right. All right. And that leaves me with kilometers, so I'm going to circle that because that means my top is finished. Next, I'm going to ask myself, what unit goes up? And the reason is because now my hours are on the bottom and I need to change them to minutes. So to cancel out my hours, they have to go up, right? Yeah. So hours are going to go up. And what's going to go on the bottom? Well, I'm going to come over here. And what I see is 1 hour to 60 minutes. So 1 hour, 60 minutes. So now I can cancel out my hours, and I'm left with 60 minutes. And that leaves me with kilometers per minute of my units. I converted each one of them separately. Okay? Now, all I have to do is my math. Multiply, 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 divide, divide, divide. How many digits do I get? 3 is correct. I have 3 here and 3 here. My hours don't count, my minutes, miles don't count, my hours and my minutes don't count. So that gives me 1.28 kilometers per minute. Okay? Questions? All right, let's do another one. Here we go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. My car gets 25.7 miles per gallon. If I move to Europe and ship my car there, how many inches, this is like inches, sorry about that, inches per liter will my car be getting? Okay, so where's my ending point? Inches per liter, inches over liter. So that's where I'm going to end up. Where am I starting? Yes, 25.7 miles per gallon. That's where I'm going to start. Okay? So let's come up with some conversions from your conversion lists that will help here. Let's list them. What do you see? On your conversion list. Because we don't have miles to inches, right? That's not a thing. Inches to feet, excellent, inches to feet. 12 inches equals 1 foot. That absolutely will be helpful, Z. What else will be helpful? Emery? Oh, yes, Emery. Yes, good. Okay, 1 gallon equals 3.79 liters. Great. What else? Because we're not there yet, are we? Ronan. Yes, 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. Okay, so now we can go from miles to feet, from feet to inches. Oh, excellent. So we can get from miles to inches, yeah? And we can go from gallons to liters. Does everybody see that? Okay, now I want to make a comment here about sig figs. Inches to feet and miles to feet, these are definitions. Somebody defined 12 inches as 1 foot, and then somebody defined 5,280 feet as 1 mile, because, you know, that was brilliant. So because of that, we're not going to use any of that. We're staying in the same system. Remember, if we stay in the same system, nothing is used for significant figures, right? But look at this, gallons to liters. We're crossing the ocean. We use gallons. Somebody else uses liters, right? So they rounded this off, didn't they? They rounded this off to give us 3.79. This definitely was not the end of the trail. It was 3.7935, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then they rounded it off to 3.79 to us. So out of respect for that, we're going to count those 3 digits. Got it? All right, here we go. You are welcome to go ahead and do this on your own. I'm going to do it silently up front, believe it or not. Silently. I will be silent. I will be silent. Okay? And you can do it on your own, and then let's see where we end up. All right? So get started. Okay, so now I started with 25.7 miles per gallon. I put miles down on the bottom and 5,280 feet on top. Then I canceled my miles. What unit goes down? Feet goes down. I use 12 inches to 1 foot, so 12 inches goes on top. I canceled feet and circled my inches. Notice I'm only talking about units. All I'm talking about is units, right? And then I'm just bringing the numbers along for the ride, okay? So then I circled my inches. Next, I've got to convert my gallons. So gallons goes on top. I come over here, gallons to liters. Liters goes on the bottom. 1 gallon, 3.79 liters. Cancel my gallons. I'm left with inches to liters, which is what I wanted. Inches per liters. And then I run multiply, 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 multiply equals, divide, 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 equals 3 digits because 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's all you get. 1, 2, 3 times 10 to the 5th. Questions? And I'm going to turn off the video now.